you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
In my family, we strive to be responsible in order to ensure the well-being of our family. In the same way, I encourage my family to vote because it's their responsibility to do so as citizens.
That's right. It is our responsibility to elect our leaders without influence from our families or anyone else.
You have the right to vote. Use it.
We will vote.
Will you?
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Pure Jungle.
So glad you could join us for Prime Television's main news. My name is Martha Namanje. To present the news, we take a look at stories making headlines. PF describes H8's pre-election victory claim as a shame. Government commended for Monze Namwala Road construction. PF cadres beat up UPND cadres in Lusaka. And in international news, Gambia reshuffles cabinet after coup attempt. Join me shortly with the details. Thank you so much for staying tuned. And now the main news in detail. The ruling Patriotic Front PF has described the self-declaration by UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema that he has already won the presidential election as shameful. In a media statement to Prime TV, PF presidential campaign spokesperson Harry Kalaba says Mr. Hichilema's statement has the ability to cause confusion. He says the election will be held on January 20th, 2015 on an open platform and not on radio chat shows where Mr. Hichilema declared himself winner. Mr. Kalaba accused Mr. Hichilema of basing his victory on what he termed as highly questionable popularity on some media houses' incredible polls being conducted without any scientific verification. He, however, states that any constructive person can see that it is only the PF candidate, Edgar Lungu, who is destined for victory. While featuring on the Hot Seat program on Hot FM radio and a special interview on QFM radio, Mr. Hichilema declared himself winner of the 2015 presidential election, basing on the amount of work the party has put in and the response it has been receiving from the general public. Some youths of Chisasa in Mwinlunga district of Northwestern Province have vowed not to vote for the PF in the January 20th presidential election owing to their unfulfilled promises. The youths explained that they have no reason to vote for the PF as the party in government has paid a blind eye to the many challenges the people of the province are currently experiencing. The youth cited lack of tangible development in the province, high cost of living and persistent unemployment levels as some of the reasons forcing them not to vote for the PF. The youth said this when Heritage Party President Godfrey Mianda visited the province in his continued campaign tour to canvass for voters. And in addressing the youths, General Mianda advised them not to vote for over-promising candidates, adding that candidates are only interested in getting to State House.
In 2011, the time the PF were in campaigning, PF killed a lot of people here, but they never even came to say condolences to the people of Chisasa here. Like me, some of my friends, they are dead from that time, but we have never seen PF coming to start say, oh please, this and they never helped us in years to approach us in last. You can see Zambia now is now depending on the mines. Most of them, the big mines, they are from Solwezi, but if you can see the roads for Solwezi, see Chingola Road, see Mwinlunga Road, everything is bad.
Throughout my work, I've never made promises which cannot be kept. Then when I was made minister, I promised to work hard for the Ministry of Education, and I'm sure you know what happened. I went everywhere. I was all over the country. When I was vice president, to help the president and keep peace in the country. So this time, it is wrong. I'm even surprised a lot of our young presidential aspirants, they are promising you the same thing that Mr. Sata promised. That is wrong. But they never.
Meanwhile, the Heritage Party has advised the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, not to end the campaign period prematurely as earlier warned. Party spokesperson Michael Kangoya says this will adversely affect certain parties which have not yet managed to touch other parts. Mr. Kangoya stressed that several political parties have already drawn their campaign period timetable, hence any decision by the ECZ to prematurely end the campaign period will be very unfair to them. Mr. Kangoya said this in an interview with Prime TV News in Lusaka, and Mr. Kangoya has advised political party leaders to tame their cadres and avoid violence. On Friday, the ECZ warned that they will be forced to end the campaign period before 19th January 2015 should political violence continue.
It would disadvantage a lot of people who have not yet campaigned as it's supposed to be, because if they bring it back, and suppose they bring it back on the 18th, it will mean that those who have arranged for rallies to be held on the 19th, they will lose out on the rallies. The other thing is that it can also be good in the sense that the parties which have been involved in violence, they will not be able to find time to do their violence. The people involved in the electoral violence, the political parties involved, are the keys to stop the violence. They are the leaders of the political cadres. They are the ones who can be able to control the political cadres. In our party, we have never experienced any political violence. We tell our cadres, if you belong to this party, you make sure that you are a person who will not be able to insult.
And a political activist has called for the independence of the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ. Dante Saunders has observed that as an independent body that deals with the country's electoral system, the ECZ should be allowed to work independently. He says ECZ should be allowed to warn and caution any political party involved in violence, be it the ruling party or the opposition, without fear or favor. He says the escalating political violence in the country should not be blamed on all political parties, but on the PF, that it is clear that it is the one that is the major culprit. He has further added that if ECZ wants to cancel the campaigns, the move should cut across all political parties and not allow the ruling party to carry out door-to-door campaigns.
Respect the ECZ. As an institution, it is a very important institution in this country. They need to be empowered so much so that when they see a political party, irrespective of who it is, whether it is a government in power or not, they must have the powers to be able to ban them from participating in elections. If you go back to just South Africa, for instance, the electoral system in South Africa at one time banned the ANC, who is in government, from participating in elections in KwaZulu-Natal.
Residents of Monze in Southern Province have commended government for the construction of the Monze-Nico Road project. The residents talked to by Prime TV have expressed gratitude to government that the said road was in poor state and made it impossible for the people to move from Monze to Namwala. They say once completed, the road will ease trade and reduce transportation costs, adding that the poor state of the road made those with vehicles charge exorbitant fees during the transportation of goods. On Tuesday, Acting President Dr. Guy Scott commissioned the 230 million Kwacha Monze-Nico Road project. The 74-kilometer road is part of the Link Zambia 8000 project, and once completed, it will link Monze to Namwala.
Malifti tagata ugata yolo wanu ngoti namwala lode imani malifti tarogata imulodo ngope soka ila wa bamga pawa yugo kuzwabo wa namwala wa usira waniwo wamana lode atiani yamani pona wa mbele ba lode poiwo yabenga paba aba ngayabota ngoti lode yamana ngai. So abantu babelega bakababelegerewo abalo balereka bapama luto kabantaba abajikonya kutyatani abajikonya kubelega abatatu omkai kubelega babelegerewo kabotumani olo mbuli mbuya bedero mbuli ni bataninga kuikireta wichita kuti twakali kupenga maniki mabampu inga wayikusika kumunzi kujana bya mwidamwa chisa mbuli mbebe deino somberada ingabyo yanda kutumbuka wanda kusika mabampa alo inga mwamba mwakwapulwa twalumba government bya maningi kalibereke hanguzo.
You're watching Prime Television's main news with me, Martha Namanje. Just before we take a break, here are the local headlines again. PF describes HH's pre-election victory claim as shallow. Government commended for Monze-Namwala Road construction. PF cadres beat up UPND cadres in Lusaka. For more on this, join me after the break.
Amena nani matushira Niyete karuku batushira Namutye nikumuru nachonga koto Niyete karuku batupera Chiri kwa kale kateka nilungu Niyete karuku batupera Uyulungu ni Joshua uya wine wasalilwe ele omose afile Leke nilungu atusende pangwa
Opening of new districts and the opening of roads and canals in Western Province is intended to make production cheaper. Amalating after Mumishi, it means in the Nakagaya, when the Mumishi, no Shiabash, Yangolevo, Bunga,
Yeah, madam, nisiriza manze.
No problem. It's very busy here.
Yeah, your sister, pamangala busy. Since you wanna kuziwa kapena nzaka vota kwa presidential elections.
Huh? Don't tell me. You can't afford to miss out on your right to vote. Elections are a time for you to choose a leader of your choice.
Your boy, Susie, but voting is important.
You need to vote if you want to put a leader of your choice in power.
Oh, okay. But for me, makamba for panga sense. Anyway, since 14,000 maningi time, your car is ready.
Zikomo, the car looks great. I'll bring it here again for another wash.
No problem. As long as it is not on 20th January, because I'll be voting.
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? Well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. Zesco, powering the nation.
What's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Thank you for staying tuned. We'll now continue with the Prime Television's main news. Suspected Patriotic Front PF cadres on Saturday afternoon allegedly beat up several UPND cadres who were on their way to attend a UPND rally in Mtendere. The cadres said they were beat up in different locations, including Soweto Market, Kalingalinga, and in Mtendere. A middle-aged man had his lip and eye swollen, while his head was bandaged as a result of heavy bleeding resulting from the beating. But UPND leader Hakainde Hichilema has condemned the violence against his supporters. The visibly emotional UPND leader questioned why the PF has taken the route of violence instead of campaigning peacefully.
Tivelani.
Zapati mtego ameneo.
Tivelani, ni chanzo mene chachitika?
Wataki wa PF.
Kuti.
Soweto.
Soweto.
Ni Soweto.
Iwe Soweto. Nangaiwe.
Kwa galingalinga.
Ni bandani?
Sina waziwazi na yao, but nezapala t-shirt na utakuachewa bwamba kunimenya cheti.
Wapala t-shirt ya chipani bwanji?
Chamini chatu.
Cha UPND. Nangaiwe?
Nenze mfukiti ya UPND, baleti na t-shirt, so magazi tezo embeka za chama makiza tariki mutoka. So nje beba t-shirt attack magazi mambo.
Manje wasina tiuna problem
wapela t-shirt. Don't start attack, otherwise tipa ngani ya campaigning. When now we are admitted to UTH, basi for washtata. Watu ntawino wali kuchipatala. One Zambia. One Zambia. One nation. One Zambia. We cannot allow a party to terrorize Zambians.
Yeah.
And I want to warn Edgar Lungu.
Yeah.
I want to warn him.
Yeah.
He got adoption to be the candidate by thundering out as the candidate.
Yes.
Edgar Lungu, hear me out.
Yes.
You will not be allowed to run a country that promotes pangas.
Yeah.
You will never ever be allowed to run this country so that you can start terrorizing citizens. We liberated ourselves in 1964.
Yeah.
We liberated ourselves in 1991.
Yeah.
We will not accept another dictatorship.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mr. Hichilema has asked the people of Zambia to vote for him on January 20th for a better Zambia, addressing hundreds of cadres in Mtendere compound where the party held a political rally. Mr. Hichilema outlined the need to put in office a leader with a vision. And Alliance for Development and Democracy ADD President Charles Milupi says time has come for economic liberation. He says Zambia cannot afford to be at the same level despite having abundant natural resources. Other people who spoke at the rally include Chongwe PF MP, Sylvia Masebo, Lamek Mangani and Andrew Banda, among others.
Remind you, the people of Mtendere, people of Munali, that on the 20th of January this year, we have a big job to perform. Are you listening? Yes. On the 20th of January, we are choosing the next president of Zambia. Voting is not a joke. Manzera? Voting is not a joke. Voting is a serious issue, a serious business. As you go to vote on the 20th of January, I'm reminding you to remember the problems that you are faced with. I am reminding you, as you go to vote, to remember the children of Mutendere, the children of Munari, the children of Lusaka and Zambia, who are not in school because their parents have no money. Remember those children. And one of you must recognize this time. This is time for economic liberation. This is the time for economic independence. And for that you need someone who understands the economy. And among all the presidential candidates, nobody understands the economy better than Hakainde Hichilema.
And in appealing to voters countrywide to be conscious and carry out a citizen's arrest against voter buyers, UPND Deputy Spokesperson Edwin Lifwekelo says it is a criminal offense for anyone to buy voters' cards with intent to disfranchise other political parties. He says the law is very clear and the UPND is on guard following reports that some political parties are going around the country buying voters' cards from potential voters. He has called called on all Zambians to be alert ahead of the January 20th presidential election, not to fall victim to criminal activities or in the name of making money, and to make undeserving candidates win the election.
Under the Electoral Code of Conduct and under the electoral regulations, it's an offense to buy somebody's voter's cards. The rules are very clear. Zambians out there, be on the lookout for anybody that comes to you to say they want to buy a voter's card. Do a citizen's arrest on these people, take them to the police, and we'll be very, very ready and very, very happy to arrest these individuals who are buying voter's cards from individuals.
The presidential ballot papers for the January 20th elections have arrived in the country aboard a chartered Ethiopian airline cargo plane. The plane carrying the ballot papers printed in South Africa by Renform Printing Solutions, a company that was contracted by Electoral Commission of Zambia ECZ, arrived at the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport at 23:59 hours. The papers were scheduled to arrive at 14:45 hours on Friday, but the ECZ had to adjust the arrival time twice. ECZ Chairperson Justice Irene Mambilima and other ECZ commissioners were on hand to receive the ballot papers. The process of printing ballot papers by Renform Printing Solutions was witnessed by all stakeholders, including political party representatives, the church, media, and civil society. The Anti-Corruption Commission, SCC, has apprehended 4 Chinese nationals for corrupt practices involving 100,000 kwacha. Chiang Mining Zambia Limited employees were apprehended at Makeni Mall during a sting operation after they gave a bribe amounting to 200,000 kwacha to the chairperson of Shimabala West Farming Community with intent to influence the local farmers in the area to allow the Chinese company conduct query activities. The Chinese nationals arrested include Yin, a company director, Xian Zhan, a sales manager, Kerry Zhu, an interpreter, and the Wangan query manager. The commission has also seized a motor vehicle which was used in the offense. The 4 are currently detained and are likely to appear in court on Monday, 12th January 2015. This is according to a statement made available to Prime TV by SCC Public Relations Manager Timothy Mono. Indeko House was on Friday evening nearly gutted following a fire that broke out at around 19:20 hours. The fire started in one of the offices on the 5th floor when the owner of the tailoring shop left a pressing iron and other electrical appliances on. By press time, only a Prime TV News crew was at the scene with 2 women based on the same floor. It took the news crew to break the padlock to the office to gain access to the office and manage to quench the fire. But the time the fire brigade were arriving at the scene, the fire had already been quenched. And owner of the shop, Nicholas Masambala, who seemed shaken with the turn of events, said he only went out to have a haircut before the incident happened.
He is a tailor, so there was a blanket and he was ironing this.
You see the iron there?
Yes.
Yes.
You even forgot the laptop or maybe?
Everything was on just like that.
30 minutes. More than 30 minutes. Because I also passed through the barber shop. Yeah. Because now, even if you had, did you switch off the, I think it's like this, then I forgot to switch it off.
That would have been
so
bad.
That was.
You're still watching Prime Television's main news. Stay tuned for a roundup of international news.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
Wow, I can't wait for the midterm break. I'll sleep the whole day.
I'll be doing the opposite, staying up all night and playing video games.
Wow, you two have big plans, hey? I'll be going back home where I registered so I can take part in the presidential election on the 20th of January.
Wow, Lisa, why are you such a boring dog? Why'd you bother about such things? You leave it to the old people. We're young.
And that's exactly why we should vote. We're the future of Zambia. And the elections will give us a chance to vote for a president of our own choice. And this president will also address issues that we face as youth.
Okay, but she has a point. Imagine if more young people voted, okay? Our leaders would then realize how important we are to the nation and then solve more of our issues.
Well, you see, as much as I hate to admit it, I think you both, what I've said, makes a lot of sense. I'm left with no choice but to consider it.
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
And now in international news. Gambia's President Yahya Jammeh has replaced Justice Minister Basiru Mahoney in the second cabinet reshuffle since soldiers attempted to seize power in the tiny West African state late last month while Jammeh was out of the country. State television gave no reason in its announcement late on Thursday for the removal of Mahoney and his replacement by Abubakar Segore, former Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology. Meanwhile, a U.S. man accused in the failed coup has been denied release as his case is pending. Papa Foy, 46, is accused of conspiring to violate the Neutrality Act, but Magistrate Judge Franklin No denied the request, calling for a flight risk with siblings in Europe and community support that could facilitate his escape, the state tribunal reported. Al-Qaeda's Yemen branch has claimed responsibility for the deadly attack on the French satirical Charlie Hebdo magazine, saying the shooting was an operation to teach the French the limits of freedom of expression. Abu Harith al-Nazari, a senior member of the Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, made the claim in an audio recording published online late on Friday. He also warned that France would not enjoy security unless it stopped what it called a war on Islam. For more on these and other international stories, we now monitored Al Jazeera.
French President François Hollande is preparing to meet with key members of his government to talk about security. It follows the killing of 4 hostages and 3 gunmen on Friday and an attack on a satirical magazine in which 12 people were killed on Wednesday. The Yemen-based Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula has claimed responsibility for Wednesday's attack. One of the 2 brothers suspected of the attack claimed to have been trained and financed by the group. A U.S. court has sentenced Muslim cleric Abu Hamza al-Masri to life in prison on terrorism charges. He was found guilty of supporting the 1998 kidnapping of 16 Western tourists in Yemen and of trying to help establish a training camp in the state of Oregon in 1999. He was extradited from the UK to stand trial in New York. Sri Lanka's new president is vowing to root out corruption and introduce constitutional reforms to reduce the power of the presidency. Maithripala Sirisena was sworn into office in Colombo following a shock victory that ended a decade of rule by Mahinda Rajapaksa. Now, hundreds have been killed in Nigeria in the latest attack by Boko Haram, which Amnesty International suggests could be the deadliest massacre in the history of the armed group. Unconfirmed local reports say that up to 2,000 people, including women and children, have been murdered in the northeastern town of Baga. Thousands of Nigerians have fled to neighbouring Niger, and many more remain displaced internally. A US judge has dismissed a lawsuit seeking compensation for the UN for the victims of a cholera epidemic in Haiti. Nearly 9,000 people died after human waste from a Nepali peacekeepers camp was dumped into a river 5 years ago. Hundreds of thousands more were infected. The judge said the UN's charter provides broad legal immunity. A suicide bomber has attacked a mosque in Pakistan. 7 people were killed and dozens wounded in the city of Rawalpindi. The bomber targeted Shia Muslims. So far, no one has claimed responsibility.
That international roundup brings us to the end of our main news bulletin. But as we go, here are the headlines again. PF describes H8's pre-election victory claim as shallow. Government commended for Monze Namala Road construction. PF cadres beat up UPND cadres in Lusaka. And finally, in international news, Gambia reshuffles cabinet after coup attempt. That's all we had on our main news bulletin. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Martha Namanje, and on behalf of the entire news production team, it's goodbye and God bless.
Hi, I was just checking up some information on the Electoral Commission of Zambia website. Did you know that the Electoral Commission of Zambia has set January 20th, 2015 as the date for the presidential election? Remember that in order to vote, you'll need your green national registration card and your voter's card. Voting is the constitutional right of every Zambian citizen. Exercise your right by voting for the presidential candidate of your choice on January 20th, 2015.
Vote in the presidential election on the 20th of January 2015, starting from 06 hours to 18 hours. Carry your voters and green national registration card to be able to vote. The Electoral Commission of Zambia. Your vote, your right, your voice. Support peaceful elections.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Would you wear all your favorite hats at the same time? well, we wouldn't either. That is why we suggest you use only what you need. Switch off all electrical appliances and lights in unused rooms. Remember, use only what you need and save power today. Switch and save. ZESCO, powering the nation.